Hi, folks. Welcome once again to Talk Formula One. Apologies that we weren't able to come to you with Saudi Arabia, but we are back here again. And as is usual, the formidable OBJ is here with me tonight. OBJ?
Hi, good to see you all. Again, I just have to echo the apologies. There were technical events, certainly beyond our control, but we're here.
Right. So just before we kick it off, unfortunate circumstances, but the mother of my kids passed away, and I would want to seize this opportunity to remember the life that she lived. That said, straight into it, OBJ.
Indeed, what about indeed, I have to touch on what you mentioned just now. It's indeed a great loss, and we have to show our respect. And so we seize this opportunity to celebrate her life, and we will dedicate today's episode to her with clearly with your permission, Dilly.
Yeah. This is for Rachel Nati. May your soul rest in peace. Amen.
Amen to that. Amen.
Right. So let's jump into Australia, Albert Park.
Oh my God.
I'm sure you'll be excited, if not completely excited, happy that, Mercedes are back on. Well, they are making their way towards the front of the pack, but
you know what? You know me, as suspicious as an old witch. I'm glad we didn't have the troubles we had in Saudi Arabia when our friend Lewis Hamilton's car seems to be bouncing all over the track, and it was like a mad bull that's just gone absolutely crazy. So the car was a little bit settled, and I guess we were able to, keep it on track, get some performance out of it. And we not only made Q3, we made Q2, and in fact, we made the top 10 shootout, which was amazing. Yeah, I don't know about you. I peed myself when I saw. In fact, I nearly did number 2. It was that bad, full of excitement. Can't say that.
I guess quali. Yeah, the Mercedes getting both cars in. Well, yeah, but I guess quali was as you'd expect it. The Ferraris, the Red Bulls, the Mercs, the McLarens, and the AlphaTauris. So yeah, no surprises there. The only thing I would add to that is maybe I would have expected the Hazes to have been mixing it in with the Alpines, but hey, what can I say?
It was excited. I'm beginning to get slightly concerned about Vettel. I don't know. Maybe again, I shouldn't be concerned because he had a pretty long spell of COVID, and he came back from COVID, and I kept looking for Vettel on the field. I couldn't find it anywhere.
Well, in his defense, I will say the Aston Martin team hasn't quite gotten their car where I think it should be.
They have. They be like Mercedes. They clearly have.
Yeah, but excellent poll from perspective of Leclerc. Or what's your take on that?
I think he's made us proud. He's it's clear that he's certainly on the Le Pen side because he's casted his vote today, and he's on fire. Like Le Pen is on fire. I wouldn't be surprised if we have a new president in France and he's Le Pen. Leclerc, Le Pen.
All the lays.
Absolutely, absolutely.
OBJ, as usual, you're just mischievous. But hey, I wouldn't have you any other way. So race day. I'm not gonna accuse you of this, but you know, Verstappen not finishing, I think is something to OBJ. You had something to do with it, you know.
Honestly, he had absolutely nothing to do with me. I think he felt a bit humiliated. You know, we've not had in the history of Formula One, Dele. We now have the Verstappen rule, something unheard of, meaning safety car restart. You are not allowed to bully the car in front. You are not allowed to go alongside. You have to behave like yourself. In fact, they insist that after every safety car, the driver needs to put on a tuxedo just to confirm he's a gentleman.
OBJ.
Honestly,
let's get back to the racing. Let's get back to the racing. So I guess one would say we didn't get the kind of fireworks we were expecting to get, because Leclerc practically drove from pole to P1.
He did an outstanding job. You couldn't take it away from him. Verstappen put him under pressure a few times, and Leclerc managed to stay pressure.
Yeah, well,
he did.
What was a bit of a downer for me was, you know, given the car under him, and so Hamilton's managed to get a fantastic start, in my opinion. Unfortunately, he seems to have ended up on the wrong side of the safety car.
Well, you know, like always, I wasn't convinced as well. He didn't have the pace to challenge, a young, what's his name again? His name escapes me. Mr. Russell. You know, I felt, you know, Lewis did have enough pace to challenge Russell and to take the race through Russell. And Russell might have been obliged not to stick his elbows out. But I didn't see that happen, because at one stage he was within DRS and then he seemed to have pulled back. So maybe we have team orders. I really don't know. But
it would only make sense for them to have team orders, you know, not upset the apple cart. And well, I know you're not going to want me to say this, but hey, you're a Lewis fan, right?
Right.
Mercedes Racing, you know, I guess you might say they might want to, you know, start supporting the future of Mercedes Racing, which they would, you know, say is Russell because the age is on his side, you know. I'm not saying that Lewis is a has-been, but hey, they're inclined to think that way. But hey, I'm sure there's a lot more fight left in that dog they call Lewis. So, you know, interesting times ahead. You know, I expect to see a lot more this season. It bodes well for Formula One. We just have to sit back, get some popcorn, you know, and watch it all pan out.
I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. You know, I'm pleased for Mercedes. They're number 2 in constructors now, and Red Bull DNF 2 times now for what's his name? You know, he's he's had a bit of a tough luck. You know, Lady Luck clearly is not on his side. I'm not quite sure why he DNF this time around, because
I can give you a bit of information on that.
Well, so you the mechanic that
you need to bear in mind. You need to bear in mind that their power units are no longer Honda power units, but They're Red Bull power units now.
Yeah.
And so like the durability of the Honda power units, well, isn't quite what they have right now. And so far, the Red Bull power units don't seem to be, they don't seem to have the reliability that their competitors have. So, it's you don't tend to expect a Ferrari to, to blow its engine. You don't expect a Mercedes to blow its engine,
Did he? I mean, I've got to jump in here. I'm not quite sure I can follow that line of thought because so when you blow an engine, there's a white plume of smoke, which is engine oil getting into the combustion chamber. So you get that. It's like somebody makes, puffs out, a lot of cigarette smoke that they refuse to inhale. I didn't see that happen to that car. And it was almost like a cliff edge. 1 minute it was running. There was no radio comms to say, oh, hang on, I'm losing power or this engine is beginning to sputter. Nothing. It
it was hydraulic failure. They practically had the car started losing fluids. They can tell that from telemetrics and stuff like that. So they've actually asked him to shut it down. Obviously, when that happens, it's because, they've actually admitted that much that they're not going to know until they actually get the car back to the factory. They just don't know. So, interesting days ahead.
You put money on the fact that he's not Mr. Verstappen sucking his thumb, getting pretty pissed off about this Verstappen rule, and he feels the whole world is suddenly against him, and he's saying, "Nah, I can't be bothered. I'm not even going to race again." You sure this is not what we're dealing with? Because he didn't walk out. He didn't walk. Well, listen. You can laugh as much as you want, but in the history of F1, certainly in my living memory, he's the only driver that has walked off the podium.
Well,
which account do you write that? Hey, it was like, what's this man that went on stage and slapped my good old friend Chris Rock? He's unheard of.
Oh wow. That's another subject for another day. But hey. OBJ, you've been extra mischievous today. How are you like?
Well, it's
really?
a Sunday. It's a Sunday and it's close to 9 p.m. It's way past my bedtime, as you clearly know. Normally by now I should be in bed and hopefully with a beautiful woman beside me, but you seem to have all of my time, so I'm not.
Well, I guess good racing in Albert Park. The only other thing I felt, needs a mention is Williams not qualifying, not getting out of Q2. Not getting out of Q3 and managing to get a car in the points. Good drive by Albon. Although I think they cut that very fine because he practically ran the whole race on one set of hard tires, and they were very close to, falling short of using two compounds, but they timed that change, very, very smoothly to manage getting 1 point. So commendable on Williams' part. But I doubt they'll get away with that kind of tactics going forward. But points on the board. It's always very good. But well done to the Williams team.
I guess we mustn't end without mentioning, Bottas as well. We thought it was the final nail in his coffin, certainly in Formula One. And it doesn't seem to be the case. He has been putting up a really good show, both in qualifying and the race. And so, credit to him. Credit to Bottas.
Definitely credit to Bottas. I guess, there's not too much more to be said. The only other thing I will say is that the Alpine cars didn't seem to, live up to expectation. But hey, we'll see how we'll watch the space for them and see how it goes.
Yeah, yeah. And of course, Vettel was another DNF, didn't finish. So I'm just not really sure what's going on with Vettel or the cars. And I think for me the jury's out. I don't really buy this COVID.
And Stroll didn't help their cause either. You know,
no
penalty for weaving and
absolutely, absolutely,
so, yeah,
absolutely.
I guess. Interesting times ahead. Leclerc has taken is it 33-point lead in the championship?
I think he's on a 33-point lead, and of course we have our first beaching of the car in the gravel trap, so we've got all of that back again now. You cannot really exceed track limit. I mean, Lewis was fond of doing that. Of course, Lewis did do that when he was forced off the track, but nowadays you really got to be careful, otherwise you're just going to beach. So it's good fun.
Well, good to see the Ferraris back at the front of the pack. I'm waiting for Mercedes to fully come to the party. It was interesting that McLaren's actually, delivered, but I overheard Lando saying that, they still have problems with high-speed corners, and part of the advantage they had was that Albert Park was devoid of, high-speed corners. So they say there's work to do. We'll watch this space for them as well. But yeah, I guess we look forward to Imola, isn't it, next?
It looks like it, yeah. We have to I think I've resorted to bringing out my old broom, the one I inherited from my forefather days, the one you sit on and you could travel, between time. So I've gone back to the old formula, and I'm dancing around mortar and pestle, obviously chanting Lewis Hamilton. So hopefully we will see Sir Lewis on the podium, #1 spot. To give some excitement to this show. It's getting a little bit boring, don't you think?
Well, I'm enjoying the exchanges with the Ferraris and the Red Bulls. It will be, I'd like championship to be a three-way thing. So I'm hoping Mercedes get to that party before, it's kind of like lights out. But yeah, it should be interesting to see how that pans out.
We shall see.
Anyhow, folks, I guess this is where we will wrap it up for now. Till we see you in Italy. It's bye from me, OBJ.
See you next time.